new feature that will be implemented with update 17. And that will be released tomorrow on PTS for testing, and in the middle of February, something like that.
Yeah. Hello. Thanks for joining. Sorry, I think we didn't link that up the proper way, but we got it. So yeah, well, as Lo was saying, DLC coming out. Two things we're going to talk about today: the quality of life features. We're not going to talk about the dungeons. So you can vote on which we want to do next. So I'm going to link something in chat real quick in the video description. This is what we're going to be talking about. It's a Dragon Bones preview article, so you can click that and see what's coming. And it's basically two things we've been asking for quite a long time, right? The first thing is Dragon Bones apparently PTS next week, Monday most likely, and then it'll be on live server in February. I don't know what dates, what platforms, and so on. But it's a update 17 is what they're calling it, a free update, so it applies to the base game besides the battlegrounds, which we'll discuss that. So the two big things we're going to talk about is the outfitting system. I always want to read this real quick. The outfitting system, you can change the appearance of your equipment to reflect any of your known crafting styles by visiting an outfit station, formerly known as dye stations. So whether you're wearing light, medium, or heavy, you'll be able to alter its appearance. Other games have called this transmog, so you might be familiar with that. So it allows you to look the way you want, having whatever gear you want on. You'll have access to one unique outfit that you can customize using gold, but you'll also be able to acquire outfit tokens, change tokens, and additional outfit slots via the Crown Store, allowing you to have a variety of outfits. Okay, that's number one. Number two is home storage. Since last year's Homestead update, we received a lot of requests, and this is the ZOS article. Players want to store items in their home. We're happy to announce that we will be doing that in Update 17. So this update will allow you to acquire unique collectibles that you can store items in your home, freeing up valuable inventory space in your bank. So I did not watch ESO live because it was at night and they're having technical difficulties. Aloha, you said you kind of watched it?
Yes, I did. So it was a kind of fun episode, considering that they had a lot of technical issue, and so they didn't manage to show properly what was going on because they didn't had a way to share the screen. So we were seeing the game on the television behind. It was quite funny and not professional at all, but very convivial. But it was not very convenient to see exactly how the system was working because we had to guess. It was too far for really seeing what's going on. But we will know more about tomorrow. Basically, the system is working in a way I was not expecting. And I'm kind of happily surprised from most of it, and some other point we will discuss later.
Okay. So we're going to discuss one point at a time. We're going to discuss outfits first. And so we're going to do like a poop sandwich, like I always say, what we like, what we don't, and then, what we like again. So Sig, what do you like about the proposed system, since we don't know every detail about it, but what you've heard, what do you like?
Well, I mean, with what we've seen of it, what we know about it, it's much closer to the outfitting system in like Rift or Lord of the Rings Online than it is transmog from WoW, and that makes me happy. I think it's a much better option. There's some controversy out there because it's been monetized and whatnot, but whatever. They're going to monetize the game. This is the kind of stuff I want to see monetized. It doesn't lead to any sort of power increase or anything like that, so that's fine with me. But outside of that, I don't know, we don't know enough about it to really speculate really, any further on how exactly it's going to be until we see it tomorrow.
Okay, so you say it's similar to Lord of the Rings and other MMOs, but dissimilar in terms
right.
of... Okay.
So people have been calling it transmog and whatnot, and it's more similar to the outfitting system in Lotro or Rift or...
Age of Conan.
Yeah.
And Guild Wars 2.
Yeah. Then an actual transmog system, which, you're changing the actual appearance of specific gear pieces. Here you're just overlaying a certain look on top of your character, and it's not...
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Aloha, what about you? What do you like?
Yeah, I agree with Citric. That's the part that were surprising me. It's actually the fact that you kind of create your own costume instead of transforming the gear that you have already. So you're not recrafting with new style the gear you have acquired. I thought it would be more on that line, like World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy XIV does. But no, you recreate a costume, so you can choose whatever pieces of armor you want. It doesn't matter if it's light, medium, or heavy. You can really choose that. You can dye your weapon. You can dye every pieces like you want. And the way it's made for the crafter, I think it's really cool, because every motif that you know will be register in your collection. So let's say that your first character is your crafter. You know almost every motif except one. Then you log on that character. All your motifs will be stored in this collection system. And then you log on your second character, which is alt. You only know one last weapon that your other character do not have, because you make a mistake, for instance, when you learn the motif or something. That happened to me all the time. And then it will complete the collection, sort of. So from that, this will not affect your crafting. So you will not be able to craft a glass weapon if you have not learned, but you can use all the style from this collection to craft your outfit. So this is really cool, because it's become motif account wide, but only for the outfit system, not for the crafting system. It will encourage people to collect more of their motifs, and it doesn't really alter the rarity of being a crafter.
Okay, that's an interesting take. I didn't even think about the motives and like being on the character and stuff like that, but okay. Yeah, that's interesting.
And they precise they are starting by motif. And Rich Lambert say, I just leave it at that.
Okay. Well, so this is a long time in the making, something I've really wanted, because God, the fashion is so fun in Elder Scrolls Online, as silly as that sounds. Like, I mean, sometimes I don't even want to play the game. I just want to log in, look at my heavy armor Trinamax, and screw with the dice for an hour and hit random till it looks cool. I mean, it sounds as silly as that sounds. Like, your character's identity, largely affects the way you play. And I'm sorry, wearing the Necropotent set on a Magic Sorc makes me want to vomit. It looks absurdly stupid. But the thing that I like the most, I think Sig pointed at this, is look, I've banged on him before about monetization of certain products. So basically selling certain things or crown storing everything. This crown store the hell out of it. As long as you have an option to earn it or get it without spending money, I think that's great. But this, they could really expand on the people that have some disposable income, maybe want some convenience and want to play dress up. That doesn't affect the end game. That doesn't affect power levels. That doesn't affect champion points. So I think from what I've seen so far, and this is just speculation, so I haven't gone to PTS, I'm impressed with the way they're monetizing it, because ultimately you need to pay the developer, whether we do that in monthly subs or crown crap or whatever. This is something I would be like, okay, I would hand over some money for an extra outfit. So like, I want to go PvP as a tank, and I want to look like Trinamac, badass heavy armor. Click. I'm going to go hop on my healer, and I don't want to wear Daedric Spell Power Cure. Click. Okay, $10. I mean, if I have 10 extra bucks to spend and I get a couple outfits and stuff, I'm cool with that. So I think that's great. And like, I think that you said that the transmog system, I think I was misinterpreting it, and that the fact is you don't have to like replace your gear or something. I think that's good, because you don't have to like keep farming gear to get the specific spot. You can just basically craft it. So I think there's big positives for the system so far and what we've seen, but we'll have to wait till we get on there, and then I'll probably be completely wrong. So, now, what we like, what don't we like? Aloha, we'll start with you.
Yeah. Let's speak about this monetization system. I do not disagree with you in what Zictric said, but you still have only one outfit slot for your character. You have one by character. Okay, they're independent. But if you want more than that, you will have to purchase them. It is not affecting your stat. It's not pay to win at all. But for some people, this aspects will be very, very important. So I wish they would give you the opportunity to have more outfit slot, maybe the double for ESO Plus. I don't know, something like that. Personally, I'm paying ESO every month, and I don't want to purchase more Chrome. So I wish they would give you the possibility to purchase those outfit slots in a different way than just by Chrome, but it's just a very minimum complaint about it. That being said, I'm very, very happily surprised. I know it doesn't come with the I don't like category, but I want to underline this. I'm very happily surprised because I was persuaded they will use a system of token that you could only purchase by the Chrome store. And here you can purchase it with Telvar Stone or Crafting Reeds. We will have to see the ratio, because if it's become impossible to farm or if it's way too expensive, that's a bit, tricky. It's kind of a way to force people to go to the Chrome store. And for role player, that might be difficult because those guys, they play the game. They enjoy to role play and to do the stories and to role play with each other. They don't like to farm Telvar Stone. Maybe they don't really like to do crafting reads every day either. So if it's out of the blue in terms of cost, all those category of people will have difficulties to purchase the game via the game itself. So it needs to be balanced on that regards.
Okay, Citrix, what are your thoughts negatively on the system that we know of so far?
I don't really know enough to have any negative thoughts right now. Honestly, I mean, what I've seen and what I know about it right now is enough to make me interested in it, but I haven't seen enough to really come to any further conclusion.
What was negative in like Lord of the Rings or the other ones that had something similar? Was there something that came up that was like, this is BS, or you know what I mean? Or
well, the only one that I ever really spent a whole lot of time with was, and actually I'm glad you asked that because that actually does bring something up. The only one that I've spent time with was Lord of the Rings, and I didn't really have any issues with it at all. But what the difference was is that here you can only use items that you know motifs for, right?
Yeah.
So in Lotro, if you picked up a piece of gear or clothing or costume or anything like that, you could put that in one of your outfit slots and use it. So, like a good example is if I like the way the Chuden helmet looks and I want that in my costume, I can't actually use that because it's not a motif.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but
Rich
Lambert say for now. It's
well,
only
you said for now, but they've said for now for a lot of things that we've never seen.
Yeah,
so until it actually happens,
keep hope. Keep hope.
Well,
if you purchase a lot of outfit token, maybe it will happen sooner rather than later.
Okay, but yeah, that's fair. Like the motive thing, like so the outfit is in your collections, or is it? Can you like transfer it per character then?
No, the outfit is independent of your character. It's like a new window. Okay. It's like your costume maker or whatever. You will build up your costume. So the way it works, or so I understand, you go to a dyeing station that now are outfit station. You will have your window where you can have you will see the silhouette of your character, either wearing its armor or its costume or nothing. That's your outfit. Then you can compose your outfit selecting the motif that you know, okay? And then you can dye what you want. Each piece of armor will cost a price to be saved. So let's say you put Britain shoulder because you like that.
Oh.
It will cost 100 gold. But if you want to have a glass shoulder, because it's more rare, it will cost like 1,000 gold to transform it. So the price of your outfit will depend of the rarity of the pieces of armor you're choosing, if they are a rare motif or not. So once you have saved this outfit, you can name it, like for instance, Barbarian. You have your barbarian clothes, and then when you are in the wild, you cannot edit your outfit, but you can change it. Like you were wearing your normal armor, and then you can say, okay, I'm wearing my barbarian outfit. And if you have several outfits, then you can switch between them freely when you're in the wild. But to edit them, you need to go to a dyeing station and save it, and it will always cost gold or outfit token that like I say, you can purchase either with Stelvar Stone, crafting wreaths, or corn store.
Okay, well, I mean, from what I understand, if it's basically in your collections, it's a thing. If I can get on my main crafter who knows basically every motif and make it, and then go on my other guy and then use it, great. But if it's like every character I want to use,
you can use it on all your characters. So let's say that you know a lot of motifs on your crafter, and then you know some motifs on other character. All the motifs that all your character know will be collected in the collection.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's fair. I mean, that's gonna people are gonna be out motive farming like crazy. I guarantee that.
Yes.
As far as my thing, what I don't like on it, I think, that's my turn. Oh, I went out of order. Sorry, Sig. My bad. What I don't like on it is there's really little I don't like that I know of right now since we haven't played it. But I will say this. There's something about, like, in previous games like Star Wars The Republic, when the first game first came out, there was, like, Battle Master gear. It was the most horrendous looking piece of crap you would ever lay eyes upon, but it was super powerful. So if someone was wearing that gear, there was no transmog, there was no outfitter, there was not, you like knew they were a badass, right? Or like when Monster Helms came out and like Bloodspawn was like the thing, and you saw someone wearing Bloodspawn, you're like, oh man, like in PvP. So the only negative I would have is that it actually would take away some of the I don't know how to say it, combat identity. So like when I run up on someone, I see they're wearing a Bloodspawn, I see a werewolf hide shield, I know they're wearing Spriggan's dual wield. Like I can identify, just because I've spent too much time playing this game, what their build is, like instantly, just muscle memory.
I will jump on that because at the moment you have a costume system, it removes already that. I'm wearing my blacksmith system. You have my blacksmith outfit. You have no idea what I am. My blacksmith costume. Sorry, costume. Then, if you see someone wearing a monster mask, for now, it will still be the real monster mask. You will just not see the rest of the armor. You see, so it's not exactly.
Right, but the swords are huge. I can tell Spriggan, Spinners, War Maiden. I can tell exactly what swords they're using.
Yeah, but those do they have a motif-like style?
Yeah, the Spriggans is I think Wood Elf and stuff like that. So I've just memorized the styles. So I mean it's I'm very minute, but I like that aspect of the game where your knowledge of sets really helps you to fight another player, right? Like you see a Lich chest, you know they're a magic build, they're going to go on the Resto staff with the Lich staff, and they're going to proc this magic return, and you can watch the actual blue animation come from their character. That adds a layer of skill that it's just a small thing, but, I think it's good overall.
I understand. I understand. It's true that I didn't really thought that the weapon. Now they will have to make a unique weapon that you cannot craft.
Well,
something that you can only do you like master weapon, so you cannot remake them.
Here's what they need to do to add this system. What they need to do is, if you're a top tier PvPer, the 1% on your campaign, you get a special iron ingot that allows you to craft a unique sword. That's only for PvPers. If you're a PvEer in the top whatever of the weekly leaderboard, you get an ingot or wood or whatever that allows you to craft unique looking like we need unique looking stuff. I don't care if it's the entire outfit or a weapon, but when you see this weapon, when you see this helm, when you see this thing, you're like, holy crap. Not everyone can get it. Everyone can get Bloodspawn. Especially now. It's really easy. I'm talking about like the polymorph that they have for that new trial. Why don't they do something like that with PvP? And it can be a sword, it can be a motif, it can be, but there needs to be ultra rare things that even the outfitter system won't solve. Like you wouldn't want to cover up your swords because they're that badass.
Yeah, I understand. I agree with that. I very much agree with it. And that's why I'm not really sure if I want the monster mask to be able to be part of the collection, because that will ruin it a little bit. If you have a stupid, ridiculous green helmet, it has the Vulking Scoria look.
Okay, we better move along here. Last thing I want to talk about real quick is, why did it take so long to get in the game? For me, I'll go first, and I think this is kind of odd because, number one, I would assume this would have came way earlier because it's a moneymaker, right? I mean, they just can implement it very easily. I don't know code and computer stuff, dude. I'm just an idiot online, right? So I don't know all that stuff, how it happens. But I would just like, why wouldn't this be in like day one to make a ton of money? It's very little, maybe on the server impact, item-wise. I just bizarre. Like, why did it take so long to get in the game? 3 years?
There's plenty of things that could have been in the game day one, and that are still not there, like guild content. But I believe if they do it that way, it's more a question of budget and time and team effort to put. So they have a kind of scale of priority of what they need to make first. They knew that it would be money maker. They knew that players wanted it. And there's plenty of other features that can generate a lot of money and income like this. So I really guess it's not because they want it to be late, but because they didn't have time to do it yet. Correctly, at least. Maybe they tried it. It was super buggy. Yeah.
Seg, what's your take? Because you've played a lot of different MMOs. Like, what's usually the timeline of something like this coming into the game? Am I just wrong?
4 to 5 years.
Oh, is it really that long?
There's been some that have started with it, but I mean, WoW didn't have it to start with. Lotro didn't have it to start with. It's just, I mean, it's not. It doesn't make gameplay. It's quality of life.
That's true.
So
yeah.
Quality of life needs to happen. This type of stuff needs to be in the game, but I mean, happening in year 4 is not unheard of at all.
Okay.
There's a lot of game that, or there's not a lot, but there's some game that try to put too much at launch and everything is buggy. I'm thinking a game like Wildstar that has plenty of system at the beginning, but it was not really playable. There was a lot of problem related to bug or bad performance or whatever. So it's maybe better to proceed step by step. Also, ESO was not buy to play, title at that time. It was a subscription only, so there was not that much incentive for monetization when it launched.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, I'm wrong. Thanks.
I'm not saying that.
All right, breakdown house time. So housing storage, just for those that are joining real quick. Basically what I got out of the post, and I didn't watch the live stream, but I heard some things about it, that this would not include like mannequins, but would just be like chests and so forth. Am I right about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all it is just containers.
So it's just containers. It's not actually display loot like Skyrim 2.0 or anything. Nope. Okay. All right, Sig, what do we like about this system?
It's extra storage space.
Okay, all right.
You can get it with in-game currency. I mean, it's pretty basic stuff. So, I mean, yeah, it's nice. It'll be nice to have. I'm a hoarder, like most people are, but at the same time, I understand why inventory works the way it does from a coding standpoint. So I'm not, it's there. It's cool. I'm not super excited, though.
Yeah, I think that inventory management is a pain in the in every game, especially spending my life emptying my inventories and doing that. I'm even not keeping stuff like Inkling with this 300 miles from arena weapon or so. But more inventory is always good. And here, I think they did it in a fair way. You can have 6 new chests in your home that are collectible. So depending of the size of the home, you can place more or less collectible. you have 3 big chests with 60 slots in it and 3 small chests with 30 slots in it. When you deposit something in the chest, it will be for that chest only. So it's not related to your bank. It's not related to your bag. So you can put all your Maelstrom Arena weapon or all your crafting material. No, why you will do that? Whatever your, I don't know, what you want to collect and put it into things. Like all the armor for your Templar and all the armor for your Warden, for instance. And if you use those chests, you can rename them, and they will be identical related to your house. So if you have several houses and you place the Templar chest in several houses, you will have access to that chest in several houses. The good things is that you can purchase this via the crafting rates. So, you know, those difficult crafting
master writs.
Yes, the master rates. Thank you. And then via the Crown Store, obviously. So I hope it will be not insanely expensive again.
It will be, you know, it will.
They will probably, but it's a nice incentive for people to continue to do so master rates. I think because when you have, you know, got all your crafting station, maybe you do not really, and I'm not speaking for the guys that really enjoy the housing for the decoration part, but more the practical person that just wants useful stuff. Once you have your target dummies and your crafting station, you do not have much incentive to go back to do those master rates. And that's, once more, something that will make the lifespan of the game longer. So it's good.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, is that the housing storage, it will offer more reason to do crafting writs. Like Aloha said, it's going to keep you playing the game. So if you don't want to pay for it, you don't have to. But if you have the extra money, and let's say, you know, you make a lot of money and you just want to have the convenience, buy it. That's what I love about MMOs that do whatever microtransactions right, is that you're paying for convenience. Like if I haven't, like, time is money essentially, right? So I look at, if I'm going to pay someone to do my yard, am I going to pay someone, can I make up $25 an hour, $30 an hour, whatever it is, like time value of money. So people make these same rational decisions in a video game. I want to spend an hour of my time dinking around doing quests. I'm a CEO, for God's sakes. I can spend $100 on crowns, and that's nothing to me.
Yeah.
And I know someone just like this. And it's like, so for them, $10 for a stupid chest, fine. But yet there's other people that have nothing but time, and they play this damn game 18 hours a day. So that happy medium of, oh, crap, I got $5 extra. What's that? That's a beer at a bar? Fine, I'll get a little chest. I think that's great. This is how monetization in the game should be done, in my opinion, because ultimately we have to give people money for them to continue to play and support and make the game. So I like the monetization of it, but there's also a lot I don't like. So
okay.
Wait,
tell us that.
Wait, hold on. Sig, would you want to chime in on what you like real quick? Sig Trex.
I mean,
I think
I don't know.
He's not.
It's just,
He's fighting a dungeon.
it's just there's not a whole lot for me to say about it right now. You know?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's
all right,
new storage.
Let's tear it up. What we don't like. All right, Loa, do you want to kick it off, or do you want me to rip it?
Oh, well, honestly, if I wanted to have the perfect inventory, I will just have 500 slots in my bank and in my bags. But this is not how it works from a technical point of view. So I'm kind of happy with their system. I think it's cool. It's more storage. You can place it in your home. You can use it for decorating, and you can also classify a little bit your stuff, because in the bank is a big mess. Something important to say is that those chests are only linked to you. So even if you give permission to people to visit your home, they cannot touch your chest. So it's only for you and exclusively for you.
Okay. So what don't you like about it? I mean, as far as, I thought there'd be mannequins, right? I mean,
Oh, but that's not storage. That's something
Mannequins
different.
was only ever speculation, and that's the big thing about both of these systems being implemented in the game is so many people have asked for so many things. We've never gotten any actual answers until now, but because so many people are asking for things, they just expect that that shit's going to be in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's all been speculation, you know. Mannequins is complete speculation. There was no indication that it was ever going to happen. Outside of a hint that you can actually see in game where, you know, there's houses in Vardenfell that have, you know, like mannequin dummies with armor on them. So sure, eventually it's probably going to happen, but I mean, that's just the player base saying that we need it or that we want it and it needs to happen right now. But
Yeah, well, what I'm saying is that like people ask for tons of different stuff. They have to value the time, the money, and the effort it takes to make it. So for me, it seems like just a starting point, which is fine. I have a billion different sets. Will it make me sit in my house more and do stuff? No, not really, because ultimately I have 14 characters with max inventory space. So I have like one guy that literally has 200 slots of rings. One guy that literally has 200 swords. One guy that literally has 200. And it's an absolute freakish nightmare going through. And let's say I have, 3 heavy armor slots on this guy, 2 rings, I have a necklace, and 2 swords. I have to log into 7 characters. So if I'm going to stream, I'm going to test out a new build, I spend more time logging in and out of characters than playing the game. So it's like I'll spend an hour basically getting all the crappy gear stuff together that I want to test versus actually going, okay, I have one spot where I can go to basically get all my gear, and I don't have to relog to 55 effing characters and use an add-on to tell me where it's at. Is this going to stop it? No. But at the same time, it's like the storage thing in this game to me is, why not make storage where basically it continually escalates in cost? So like, it's 11,000 to unlock 10 spaces. Then it's 40,000. Then it's 120. Then it's 150 billion. You know what I mean?
wonder if it's not a technical question, because every video game are super greedy with inventory storage. Of course, players want more and more and more and more storage, because more you have space, more you can hoard, right? But it's always a limit in every game.
more storage is never going to fix anything. Because you've got 10 different sets of 7 different pieces that you've got right now because you've got enough room to hang on to them and you think you need them. They add 100 spots, you're just going to keep filling shit up. It's never, it's never going to change.
What about less storage? Because I'm playing Fallout 4 Survival now, and I'm actually having fun with a game that has really minimal storage. Where like Fallout 4 Survivor, you have to walk back 15, 20 minutes to store something. Like every single item you pick up, you're like, is this going to keep me alive? Is this going to, help my character? Is it? Where now it's just like I'm grabbing everything, storing every little you know what I mean?
Not working for MMORPG, because you have different kind of players. You will have players that will find it fun. Personally, I might find fun to have to not pay attention to the gear and just keep what I need and throw away everything else, which is almost what I do. But you have players that like to collect. You have all kind of things, and everyone needs to be able to enjoy themselves. So what I would like to have ultimately as an inventory system is a way where you can classify things, or you have a search function, or you have something that make easier, like the situation you just described, where you are looking in your bags and you need different character to know where my ring of power is. And
what about Final Fantasy 14? Is there a system in there that allows you to access gear on other people's, like other characters?
There's different systems that are really good, and there's other systems that I don't find very good. So it's not the perfect game either, inventory wise. Some people really love it. I do not find it perfect. But the really cool things that you have in Final Fantasy is that you can save your armor set. You save it, and as you play several class on the same character, you can save all your armor set, and so you can switch very easily. That's very nice. So you don't have to look in your bags. It will just automatically transfer to you. And you have an armory chest versus your inventory. So you have like one bag where all your armor is going, and it's classified by pieces. So that's kind of good. So you have a limited amount of space, of course, but you have all your chests in the same place, all your hats in the same place, etc. So it's get a little bit easier. And then you have your normal inventory, crafting material, and all this stuff. But you don't have a crafting bag.
So the actual chest that we're going to get in this game is not going to be tied to our bank. But yet you said earlier you can rename it. So you can say like Templar gear.
Yeah.
So when I go on my guy, I'll have access to that same Templar gear chest that I would, but it'd have to be in my house.
Yes, in your house you will have it. You need to place it in your house.
Okay. I don't know. I mean...
Well, it's to give incentive to housing. It's people were complaining that there was not enough incentive for housing for people that don't care about operation. Now you have. Be happy.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a good starting point, but you know, they'll expand on it, especially if it's a money maker. You know, they'll really expand on it. So it can't hurt adding some of these things in. And what I want is different than what you want, and different what Sig want. You know, every player wants something different, right? Or so it's a good starting point, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed.
Okay.
And that's just, I mean, the whole overall thing is that they're quality of life additions to the game. And, you know, it's always going to please some people, not others, but it's, I mean, it is what it is, but we don't know enough about, you know, like the outfitting system to really go into too much detail with it. And we know what we're getting for storage, and it just, you know, it is what it is, and there's a lot of people bitching about it. But
yeah. Well, they bitch about everything. Those are the same people that would win the lottery, and they would bitch about the taxes.
Yeah.
You just got $500 million, and you're complaining about the taxes, bro? Like, I mean, let's be real. It's 2000 whatever, 18? Yeah, 2018, people.
Yeah.
Happy New Year, by the way.
Yeah.
All right, real quick. I want to do this last little round table. We're going to start with Sig, so be ready. Is this enough quality... Is this enough content / quality of life to fulfill you in game for the next 3-4 months?
Well, I mean, okay, so we're getting a couple quality of life things. You know, as far as, you know, keeping my interest in the game, the storage isn't going to change. It's not going to do any better or any worse. As far as the outfitting, I mean, that's something that I spent, you know, a moderate amount of time in Lotro back when I played it, you know, to make my character look the way I wanted it to. It's going to be kind of limited in this case because we can't use, you know, like there's a character that I would love to put in, you know, 7 pieces of the Lich gear for that look that you cannot get any other way. But the outfitting system is not going to hit that for me. So, you know, I'll spend a little bit of time with it, you know, possibly, but I like the costumes that I'm already using also. So it's nice that it's there. I'll use it. But then, you know, so there's the QOL stuff, but then we're also getting, you know, a couple dungeons, and it's going to be just the same as any other dungeon DLC pack. I'll play them, you know, we'll go in, we'll learn the dungeons, we'll beat the content, and then we'll go back to doing what we do all the time afterwards, which is grinding new characters, running pledges, standing in Deshaun looking at people, you know, just...
Yeah, but are you satisfied personally? Like you're okay with that? Yeah.
There's nothing that, you know. Sure, it's more content, you know, so that's cool. But it's nothing.
Nothing groundbreaking.
It'll be business as usual, you know. After we're done learning the new dungeons.
Right, and blowing through them and collecting all the gear, and boom, moving on. Okay, Loa, what about you? What do you think?
Well, I'm on the same line. Quality of life is just for me polishing. So it's not, it's something that will make it more pleasant for us to play. It's something that, depending of your interest or your problem in the game, you will find super cool or you will not care. But it's always a bonus. It's always something nicer. You cannot really complain about it because it's in addition. It's a little bit better. But that's not what really make your interest into the game. That will just make your life more pleasant. But what actually matter is the content, the class balance, that kind of stuff. because that's where you really will, keep going with the game, or you will stop to play it because you do not have your interest. I don't think the quality of life feature can really disgust you from the game. Huh? You will not be a whiner because suddenly there's 6 chests that you cannot have easily or whatever.
You're still playing. You're still playing. You're not quitting over that. Yeah. Well, my take on it is basically like, for me, it's like, meh. I mean, yeah, the quality of life stuff's great. The dungeons are great, but here's what's going to happen. You're going to learn about the dungeons on the PTS. It's going to launch. You're going to blow through them, farm your gear, transmute the traits that you need, and you're done with it in a week. To be honest with you. So the meat and potatoes of the patch, in my opinion, is the class balancing. Cyrodiil, giving some incentive to people to play like individually, small group. And so the Zergers can still do the Zerg thing, because I like to Zerg, I like to play solo, I like to play in a group, but it's like I log in now and I'm like, what am I going to go do? Dungeons I've done 1 trillion times. Pledges that I don't need. Cyrodiil and get the 1v12 over and over. Or go Zerg surf. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm finding myself playing Fallout 4. It's like, at some point, it just becomes the same so repetitive thing that I'd rather just get lost in a single-player game, where the game is right now, in my opinion. Lola, you're going to jump in?
That's a problem with every MMORPG. When you have played them a lot, at some point you need to change a bit the environment. That's one of the reasons why I play several games at the moment. It has nothing to do with the quality of the game. I have nothing to complete. I mean, when you have players that are so passionate about a game, that they play it so intensively, that are so efficient to play it, they will always eat any sort of kind of content so fast, much more faster that the developer can think of it. You imagine just the first meeting to decide what is the new DLC we will produce. That takes more time than some players to just do it. So we just need to be reasonable person and not have too high expectation. A DLC will just be a little bit pieces of content with different things that are new. Here in this update 17, there will be 2 new dungeons for the people that pay the DLC, with different kind of achievement and difficulty and all that kind of stuff, and motive that you can earn, and sets that you can reach, and whatever. Then you will have 3 quality of life feature: the outfit system we talk about, the storage system we talk about, and the skill advisor and the reward for leveling. And you will have 2 new battlegrounds for the people that play battleground. It's not a lot, but it's a little things for different kind of player. The PvE will have 2 new dungeons, the PvP will have 2 new battlegrounds, and the other player, role player, whatever, they will be able to enjoy themselves with the new outfit system. I think that for a little DLC, it's kind of nice.
Yeah, I mean, overall opinion, Sig, you can chime in whenever, but for me, it's like, logging in, sometimes I'm like, why am I going to log into this game? I mean, no offense if you like it or whatever, but I really think you need to play other games, because it becomes a chore logging in, where there's really little incentive for me to like want to play. What do I need to work on? What do I need to progress? Well, skill, you can always progress your skill, right? I can't get more champion points. I really can't get more gear. I can work on 14 different builds, but then that becomes boring and tedious as well. It's like, am I actually playing the game for enjoyment or just tinkering around? Like, you know what I mean? That's kind of where I'm at. And this patch for me doesn't solve that whatsoever. It just makes it cool. Like, I'll have a week of work on the PTS, a week of work when it launches off, and boom, back to getting zerged down.
I think it's like a small DLC to keep us busy while they're working on the next chapter.
Yeah.
And Delcia, this is not, taking a dig at you or anything, because you've done a whole lot in the past for the community, and we need people like you, but you attack the game from a completely different angle than 99% of the player base.
Yeah.
Because you create content, so it's you're getting a different side of things there. But, on the flip side of that, we know what their release schedule is like, at least until they change it again, that we're going to get one of these small minor dungeon packs, and we're going to get, a zone DLC, and then we're going to get, probably some sort of, QL, free update only type thing. At some point, we're going to get a chapter. And it happened that we got a, it seems they kind of changed the order of things, where we got, dungeon DLC, and then we got a zone, and now we're getting a dungeon DLC again. So that hurts a little bit, in that aspect, I think. But I'm not too worried about it, really. I mean, because I've got enough stuff, going on as an end game player now, which is weird for me to say because but I've got enough stuff going on, to keep me content with the game. Sure, I would love a big like zone something or other, but
yeah, I don't think that ESO is the best game for players that are really only focused on end-game content. But that's a long discussion. Maybe it will be the subject of another episode.
Okay. Uh-oh. Hello with them segues. That was good. But yeah, I mean, for me, man, I like the game, but it's like, man, yeah, go fishing. That's what Joe says in chat. I might go for master angler and spend 18 hours a day fishing.
On all 15 characters.
Oh yeah. Why stop at one? Get Emperor on every single one. Get, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. If you want to be a OCD kind of person and accomplish everything on every of your character, you can spend your life in ESO. But it's not what motivates everyone, and I understand that. But I don't think there is an answer to this, because this is something. It's a satisfaction that will not be fulfilled so easily. It touches too much the core of the game itself, and even World of Warcraft, which is based on so much end game content with a lot of difficulty. They have their system of mythic dungeon. You can always have your dungeon more difficult. Mythic +5, mythic +10, mythic +22. Even a game like World of Warcraft at some point lose incentive, because the players that have played like a madman with this perfect team of people every day, and they are mythic +30, at some point, wait, why am I doing this?
Right,
Why?
right.
Because what you play this for having fun. That's the first and foremost reason why you play. If it's not fun, stop it and do something that's more fun. And that's the things that people need to question themselves at some point, when you feel yourself like doing something and you're like, why am I doing this? But why? Yes, indeed.
It's entertainment, right? It's supposed to be fun. Yeah, I think I needed to hear that. Crap, Aloha. Okay, so next episode is going to be on Sunday, January 14th, same time, so 2 p.m. Central, or what GMT? What?
21 Central Europe time.
Okay, 2 topics to vote on next week, and that's in the top right corner. Aloha's going to post it in her chat.
Yeah, it's in my bottom. Thanks.
Sorry, it's in your bottom. Not
yes,
weird.
It's my
Not weird.
Twitch expansion, thanks. You just go on it, you click on the little icon in the corner, you go in Streamlab and you vote. And then I will post the picture to Deltia so I can add it to his vote.
So we wanted to do next week's topics. Number 1 would be New Dungeons opinion, and we were thinking about even actually playing it on this stream, maybe earlier or later, and then giving you our opinion on what we thought of it. Just probably just normal screwing around just to see them and look at them.
Yeah.
And then also ESO Plus event. They come out with an event that you can basically earn crown crates, or excuse me, crown.
Yes.
Yeah, crown crates. So kind of giving our opinions on the event, that specific event, and events in general, and what we think if they're good or bad or not. So dungeons or events. Go ahead and vote in that poll system or in Loa's chat. So.
Yes. And onto a new happy year in Elder Scrolls Online. What 2018 will get us. I must say I was surprised with this new DLC. I was not expecting to have the dungeon first. And you guys...
They crush it. They crush content, dude. They crank it out. They do a really good job of that. I mean, honestly.
I was a little surprised, thinking about it, that it was another Nord-themed dungeon pack, since that's what we just got, half a year ago or whatever it was. But they look real. I mean, from what we could see on that live stream, it was kind of hard to see, but they look really cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited to get in there and learn them. So, like when whatever that last one was called, I'm brain farting right now. You know, we spent, you know, like 8 hours one night, the first night in Falkreath Hold, figuring that crap out, you know, and that was a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to that.
And if you guys wonder what were our prediction for 2008, if you want to have a little laugh about that, well, you can see it on
We got it right, though.
deltasgaming.com.
We got it right, though, didn't we? We said there would be dungeons the first one.
Yeah, I say it's in the third one. I really thought it was the third one. Maybe you say
it was the third one too. Yeah.
So
I'm gonna say I was right. Watch it.
Yes, indeed, watch it. If you have not done it yet, I think it's fun. Especially, we will be able to discuss if we were right or completely wrong.
All right, kids, and remember, eat big to get big. That's my word of advice for you today.
Okay.
I was like, what is he talking about?
It's probably your gym rats thing, you know.
We're getting big this year, 2018. We ain't be skinny girling it this thing. We ain't wearing slim jeans around the mall.
I don't want to be big, thank you.
I want to be big. I want to be big.
I want to be thinner. That's one of my good resolutions.
I want to be wider.
Yeah. Well, we will see at the end of the year if Delcha has double and if I have become thinner. Well, you don't see it very much because I have small shoulder. But
all right.
Anyway,
thanks for watching.
Take care. Bye bye. See you soon.
Thank y'all.